the important thing is the effect of the Holy Ghost in the soul, as you know very well. We want the Holy Ghost to enlighten our minds, to strengthen our wills. Actually, we just essentially defined what actual graces do, what actual graces are. You see, the Holy Ghost comes to us with his 7 gifts. And the 7 gifts of the Holy Ghost are not the same as virtues, okay? The virtues are different from the gifts. The gifts of the Holy Ghost actually soften our souls, you might say, to make them receptive. The Holy Ghost's gifts enable us to receive. Very much, you might say, as a farmer tills his soil to break up the hard clay, which is just set against the seed that he wants to plant and set against the rain. And the rain falls and runs off because it can't penetrate the soil that is set like concrete, like our souls in sin. And so the first work of the Holy Ghost in the human soul through his gifts is to enable the soul now to receive the life-giving rain, to enable the soul to receive the life-giving natural, nutrients, to enable the soul to receive the seed itself, the seed of faith, and so that seed can grow and flourish there. That's what the gifts accomplish. From the first of the gifts, the fear of the Lord, to the greatest of the gifts, the gift of wisdom, all the gifts enable the soul to receive the actual graces that the Holy Ghost then brings to us, it sends to us. But then when we receive those graces in our intellects, in our wills, to know truth, to love goodness, to enlighten the mind and strengthen the will, then we can begin to apply our own efforts. Then we can actually employ our minds, employ our hearts in doing God's work, and thus cultivate the virtues in ourselves. The virtues are things that in us are active. They are our actions under the influence of grace to accomplish the work that God has set aside for us. But again, before we can even begin doing that, we have to first, as it were, open the floodgates of grace, where we have to open our hearts to receive, and that is where the gifts of the Holy Ghost come to enable us to receive the influence, the divine influence, which is so, our hearts are so closed against the divine influence by sin. We need that work of the Holy Ghost to prepare the soil, as it were, to receive it.